Yeah, really nice song from a Broadway musical, Tomorrow by Charles Strauss, the music and the lyric by, I can't quite read that, Martin somebody. And I'm just using a little lead sheet here, so I thought I'd do a little tutorial on how to play from a lead sheet when you're accompanying a vocalist, or if you're just playing the melody and playing it on a solo piano. So let's start with the accompanying a vocalist first. Generally, what I try to do is, play the right chords, of course, and I'm going to go over all of that. But I tend to try to not be busy when the melody is fairly involved, and I also try to kind of avoid the melody notes. Though in this particular song, because it is a difficult song to sing because there's many, many large leaps in the vocal line. You're jumping up and down constantly in the song. Because the vocal line jumps around so much, it's hard to avoid playing some of the melody notes with the vocalist. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Basically, you just want to try to voice lead the chords and make them sound good. To bring a vocalist in, a very common way is just to play the very last little part of the song and then give them a nice guide note so they make sure they come in on the right note. So you could come in close to the end here. And right there, you've given them their lead note. There's middle C. And then they would start singing, "The sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow." And you can just play chords like that and let them set the rhythm. And once you get an idea of the tempo, start playing a little bit more rhythmically. There'll be sun, just thinking about tomorrow, the cobwebs and the sorrow. And see right there, they're holding out the note, sorrow, and that's where you can, fill in a little bit. Where there's none. And then right here, you've got a lot of vocal going on. When I'm stuck in so just hit the chord, when I'm stuck in a day. And here maybe it can start to flow a little more. I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow. And right there, it's a really long time that you spend on that C sus chord. I gotta say, when we used to play this song down at the nightclub for the owner's daughter, who was 7 years old, who would come up and sing this song just about every night, and the owner would always stick, a couple 20s in the tip jar. And let me tell you, we earned those 20s because, this is a hard song to sing, and you're jumping around trying to hit those pitches. And, well, let's just say the band suffered just a little bit every night. So, anyway, I think, you could possibly shorten that measure there. You go chin and grin and say, oh, the sun. So that's just one measure instead of two. But, in the Broadway arrangement, it's two. So you'd have to do something like, say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow. So you got to hang on to tomorrow, come what may. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day away. And then many times you would just repeat that tagline, the last line of the song. Okay. Apologies for the singing there. And actually, the song is really kind of written in either a very high key for a young person, or it kind of sits in a male's vocal range. So, and Also, I'll mention too that the original Broadway recording is not in F, it's in F sharp. So, should I play it for you in F sharp and you can sing to that one? Well, you know what? I think I'll do another video on this and link to it down there. If you need it in F sharp, I'll do a version for you in F sharp. Just the chords, not the melody, so you can sing to it. All right, so this is going to be a tutorial now on just playing the song Tomorrow without a vocalist, just playing the melody like you might do if you're playing solo piano in a restaurant and get a request for the song, or just want to play it because it is really a beautiful song and a very well-written song too. All right, so that's the first line, and the second line's pretty much the same, so let me explain what I did. I started with just a very simple F chord, like 2 notes, and then I added the major 7th right here, and the B flat, I've got the root, the major 7th, and the 3rd, and of course you can sometimes add these other little, like a 2nd, you know, to make it a little more colorful. And here, A minor 7th, I've got the root and the 7 and the 3rd, and the melody is like an 11th, so that's a kind of a neat sound. Just using 3 notes there. And I've noticed too, when I listen to the recording, that every time you have like a D minor and then it goes to D minor 7th, it's the bass actually that plays that 7th. So it's like the D minor and then a D minor with a C in the bass. And here, B flat major 7th. I mean, you could play the chord and play B flat. It doesn't sound too bad, but you've got to be very careful about this because the melody's so low, and the major 7th, I mean, the only place you can play it is right there, so you could really just leave it out until the melody has been played. So something like, oh. See, I just kind of added it right there. Now, when you have something like F minor and then F minor 7th, don't play F minor 7th on the first chord. Well, you know, let the harmony develop a little bit. So here I played more of the chord with my right hand, so I could do some sweeping lines with my left hand. And here it's the same thing. The 7th is actually played in the bass. So we got F minor, just put the E flat in the bass, D flat major, and E flat major, A flat major. Here also, again, you could play it in the bass there. That's how the recording goes. It's a little more awkward here, but you could just add it right there. See, the major 7th right there. And then C sus. Okay, lots of ways to think about this chord. I a lot of times will just put a B flat over a C like this, and then put the melody note up there on top. That's probably the fastest way to come up with a sus chord. Play the root, play a major triad that's like, you know, a whole step down like that, or just, you know, play C major and suspend the 3rd up to the 4th. That's what that means. And resolve it, keep the melody going. Now right here, I've played just the root and the 5th in the left hand because the 3rd is here. I realize this takes a little bit of thought, sometimes some pre-planning, but if you work on this stuff a lot, you can just learn to do this pretty quickly and just read right off a chart. Then we'll add the major 7th. If you can't reach something this big, it's okay. Just come up here, like that. And then I just kind of held on to my notes, like that. And now I've got the 3rd and the root and the 5th down there. there's the big surprise chord, and I just played the root down here, and there's the 5th and the 3rd of a G flat chord, and the major 7th right there, and then I'll try to keep pretty much in the same location here. C sus, and then C 7th, and then, you know, you could do a big chord here, like, or you could do something small. Yeah, and don't play the major 7th like I just did. Play, you know, you've already got a 6th chord because of the melody. Then add the 7th. Oh, sorry. And the chart just says B flat, but on the second beat of that B flat chord, it does change to a minor. And then, you know, it would be nice to play, keep C on the bass here. And then here's our sus chord, and our C 7th, and F major. And add the 2nd in there to just make it nice. Let's do that tag line on the end again. See, I had the 6th first, then I added the 7th right here, then the flat 7 because it's a dominant next, tomorrow.